Hello, welcome to Department of Qualitative Education, Digital E-Learning Management System. I am Dr. H. Srinivasa. So in this video, I am going to explain some concept in cosmic rays, which is a chapter for 3rd BSc Physics students studying in 6th SEM for paper 8. So this is the session number 33. In this video, we will discuss what are cosmic rays, discovery of cosmic rays, types of cosmic rays, and altitude effect of cosmic rays. Dear students, we know that living beings, including humans, were continuously exposed to ionizing radiations from natural sources both in working and public environment. Exposures from natural sources are of two types. One is sources of terrestrial radiations and the second one is extraterrestrial radiations, which are called cosmic rays. The example for terrestrial radiations are radioactive rays. You know that radioactive nuclides, which are present in Earth's crust, in soil, rocks and building materials, which emit radiations like radioactive rays, alpha, beta and gamma rays, are the terrestrial sources of radiations. Then what are the extraterrestrial radiations? Charged particles like protons, electrons and other atomic nuclei that are originated by sun and other distant stars and galaxies are called extraterrestrial radiations. The example for extraterrestrial radiations are called cosmic rays. Then what are cosmic rays? The extremely penetrating and ionizing radiations, many times stronger than gamma rays, consists of charged particles, namely protons, electrons and other atomic nuclei entering the Earth from all the direction from the interstellar space is known as cosmic rays. The extremely penetrating and ionizing radiations, many times stronger than gamma rays, consists of charged particles, mainly protons, electrons and other atomic nuclei entering the Earth from all the direction from the interstellar space are known as cosmic rays. They originate from the sun, from outside of the solar system and from distant galaxies. Okay, the energy for the cosmic ray particles ranges from approximately 10 power 8 electron volt to 10 to the power of 20 electron volts. So this is very important. Cosmic rays are very high energy charged particles. This energy may be the upper limit as far beyond anything available in the laboratories on the Earth. So these high energy charged particles can affect the living beings, both plants and animals, including humans. Upon impact with the Earth's atmosphere, cosmic rays can produce showers of secondary particles that sometimes reach the surface and can affect the living beings. The peoples spending more time in space at high altitudes, like in aircrafts and aeroplanes, were more affected due to high intensity cosmic rays at very high altitude. And also, by studying the cosmic rays, we can study the origin of the universe also. Before the development of the ultra high energy particle accelerators, cosmic rays coming from extraterrestrial sources were the only energy particles available on the Earth for the study of elementary particle interactions. So, the high energy particle accelerators are discovered after 1930. Before the development of the ultra high energy particle accelerators, cosmic rays coming from extraterrestrial sources were the only energy particles available on the earth for the study of elementary interactions. After the discovery of radioactivity by Henry Becquerel in 1896, it was generally believed that ionization of the air was caused only by radiations from radioactive elements in the ground or the radioactive gases or isotopes of radon in a naturally occurring radioactive gas. Cosmic rays were first detected by Elster and Gettil in 1899 and C.T.R. Wilson in 1900. They found that the charge of a well-insulated electroscope leaked away slowly even in the absence of any ionizing agent. So, you know that only radioactive rays which ionizes the gas. In the absence of the any ionizing agent, so the well-insulated electroscope leaked away slowly even in the absence of this ionizing agent. So this was studied by C.T.R. Wilson in 1900. At first, it was thought the loss of charge of electroscope is due to the ionizing radiations coming from radioactive substances present in the earth. In that case, the rate of discharge must decrease when the electroscope is taken to the height above the earth. So, and also, you take the electroscope from the surface of the earth and through the balloon, and also he found that the rate of decrease in the electroscope goes on increases, but here in the case it decreases. Why it is due to? In 1909, Theodore Wolff developed an electrometer, a device to measure the rate of ion production inside a hermetically sealed container and use it to measure radiation levels at the base and top of the Eiffel Tower also. The electrometer show higher levels of radiation at the top of the Eiffel Tower than at its base. However, his report was not widely accepted. If the radiation levels produced due to radioactive rays only, as we move away the electrometer from the surface of the earth, so the intensity of the radiation goes on decreases, but here at the top of the Eiffel Tower, the electrometer show higher levels of radiation. Hess in 1911 recorded ionization of air at different altitudes by sending electroscope in balloon and found that the rate of discharge from electroscope increases as we go higher above the earth. On the other hand, the ionization of air in the electroscope decreases as we go down into mines or into the sea also. So, Hess in 1911 recorded ionization of air at different altitudes by sending electroscope in balloon and found that the rate of discharge from electroscope increases as we go higher above the earth. On the other hand, the ionization of air in the electroscope decreases as we go down into the mines or into the sea also. He then suggested that there is some extraterrestrial radiation bombarding on the earth from all sides and these are responsible for ionization. Millikan also investigated Hess' suggestion and called this radiation as cosmic rays. Since then, the rays are called cosmic rays. So, Hess finally suggested that the increase the rate of discharge from electroscope increases due to the presence of some extraterrestrial radiation bombarding on the earth from all sides, and these are responsible for ionization. So finally Millikan investigated his suggestion and called this radiation as cosmic rays. Since then the rays are called cosmic rays. So then what are cosmic rays? Cosmic rays consists of high energy atomic nuclei, mainly protons, reaching our earth from outer space, as well as secondary radiation produced by these nuclei in the Earth's atmosphere. There are two types of cosmic rays. One is primary cosmic rays and the second one is secondary cosmic rays. Two types of cosmic rays, primary and secondary cosmic rays. We will study what are primary cosmic rays and then secondary cosmic rays. So in this figure you can see how the cosmic rays enter the surface atmosphere of the earth and becomes showers of the cosmic rays. So in the cosmic rays which are enter the Earth's atmosphere called primary cosmic rays, and these primary cosmic rays interact with the Earth's atmosphere which are produces the secondary cosmic rays. We will study in the further slide. Next slides. The cosmic rays which are just entering our Earth's atmosphere from outer space are called primary cosmic rays. So what are primary cosmic rays? The cosmic rays which are just entering our Earth's atmosphere from outer space are called primary cosmic rays. So primary cosmic rays consists of about 92% of protons, 7% of helium nuclei, that means alpha particles, and the remaining 1% are of heavy nuclei. These are the composition of the primary particles. Primary cosmic rays mainly consists of 92% of protons, 7% of helium nuclei. So helium nuclei are also called alpha particles, and the remaining 1% are of heavy nuclei. The energies of the primary cosmic rays ranges from 1 MeV to 10 to the power of 14 MeV. So primary cosmic rays are having very high energy range from 1 MeV to 10 to the power of 14 MeV. What are the secondary cosmic rays? When primary cosmic rays interact with the nuclei of atmospheric gases, secondary cosmic rays are produced. So secondary cosmic rays are produced due to the interaction of the primary cosmic rays with the atmospheric gases. Below an altitude of 20 km, all cosmic rays are secondary. Above that 20 km, they are primary cosmic rays. Below an altitude of 20 km, all cosmic rays are secondary because primary cosmic rays interact with the atmospheric gases, they produces secondary cosmic rays. On entering the atmosphere, the primary cosmic rays collide with the nuclei and produce mostly pi mesons. So positive pi meson, negative pi meson and neutral pi mesons and some hyperons. So on entering the atmosphere, the primary cosmic rays collide with the nuclei and produce mostly pi mesons. They are positive, negative and neutral pi mesons and some hyperons. The pi mesons produced carry sufficient energy and decay into lighter particles like mu mesons, electrons, positrons, neutrinos and photons. The pi mesons produced carry sufficient energy and decay into lighter particles like mu mesons, electrons, positrons, neutrinos and photons. So that means they emit energy in the form of gamma rays also. All such particles constitute the secondary cosmic rays or particles. At sea level, the secondary cosmic rays contain nearly 70% of mu mesons and 29% of electron-positron pairs. The remaining 1% are of heavy particles. At sea level, secondary cosmic rays contain nearly 70% of mu mesons, 29% of electron-positron pairs, and the remaining 1% are of heavy particles. So in this slide, we'll study what is latitude effect of cosmic rays. First of all, what is latitude effect? The variation of cosmic ray intensity with geometric latitude is known as latitude effect. So, the variation of cosmic ray intensity with geometric latitude is known as latitude effect. First of all, what is latitude? The angle made by the line joining the center of the earth to the any place with the equator is called latitude. So, the variation of cosmic ray intensity with latitude is as shown in the figure. So, in the next slide I will show. The cosmic ray intensity is maximum at the geometric poles. Very important point. Cosmic ray intensity is maximum at the geometric poles because the latitude is 90 degree and minimum between the direction of the magnetic field and the geometric axis, and minimum at the geomagnetic equator. At the geomagnetic equator, the latitude is 0. So, at the poles, the latitude is 90 degree. At the geomagnetic equator, the latitude angle is 0. The intensity remains constant between 42 to 90 degree. This is important. The intensity remains constant between 42 degree to 90 degree. The latitude effect may be explained on the basis of effect of Earth's magnetic field on cosmic rays. The presence of such an effect indicates that the cosmic rays are charged particles. The latitude effect shows that the cosmic rays are charged particles. The Earth's magnetic field is directed from south to north. The Earth's magnetic field at the equator is perpendicular to the direction of travel of charged cosmic ray particles. At the equator, the Earth's magnetic field is perpendicular to the direction of motion of the charged particle, cosmic ray particles. Therefore, it exerts maximum force. F is equal to QVB sin theta. Theta is 90 degrees, sin 90 is 1. And maximum force experienced is F is equal to QVB upon the particles, which consequently suffer maximum deflection and hence they are deflected away from the earth. The intensity of the cosmic rays thereafter minimum at the equator decreases and minimum at the equator. So we can see that diagram. Here the graph of intensity of the cosmic rays versus latitude. So at the equator the latitude is 0. So intensity is minimum, and this intensity on either side of the equator increases from 0 to 42 degree. Increases from 0 to 42 degree and remains constant from 42 to 90 degree. From 42 to 90 degree. So this is how intensity of the cosmic rays varies with the latitude. Why this variation of the intensity of the cosmic rays with intensity occurs, we'll explain in this diagram. This is the Earth. So you know that Earth has a magnetic field directed from south to north. So this is south pole and this is north pole. The magnetic field, Earth's magnetic field, so varies from, direction is from south to north. In this diagram you can clearly clearly seen the direction of the magnetic field around the Earth's surface. So at the equator, the angle between the line joining from the center to the surface of the Earth with the equator is called latitude. At the equator, so the latitude angle is 0. At the pole, the angle of latitude is 90 degree. Okay, angle is 0, but here the direction of the magnetic field with the direction of the cosmic rays is 90 degree. So angle between the direction of the cosmic rays which are entering the Earth's surface with the direction of the magnetic field is 90 degree. So these cosmic rays consists of charged particle experience maximum force and they take the spiral path and returns to the space only. Therefore, intensity of the cosmic rays at the equator is minimum. Only the less cosmic rays which entering in other angles will reach the surface of the Earth. So therefore intensity is minimum at the equator. As we move away from equator to the poles, see here from equator to 45 degree, so the direction of the magnetic field goes on changes. Therefore, so the cosmic rays experience a force between a minimum and maximum, and thereafter the direction of the magnetic field at the poles with the direction of the charged particles is almost parallel. That means theta is minimum or 0. Therefore, whenever a charged particle enters parallel or along the direction of the magnetic field, will not experience any force. Therefore, maximum number of cosmic rays consists of charged particles enters at the poles. Hence, intensity is maximum at the poles. This is how we can explain the variation of the intensity of the cosmic rays with the latitude. So it is minimum at the equator, due to which the cosmic rays experience a maximum force and goes on increases from 0 to 45 degree, and thereafter it almost constant and it is maximum at the poles, because the angle between the motion of the charged particle and the magnetic field is almost 0 or minimum. They experience minimum force. Almost all cosmic rays so enter the Earth's atmosphere will reach the Earth's surface at the poles. So I have used all these books to make this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you once again.